A lot of us have worn different hats throughout our lives and careers, but few have had more roles than Nathan Harvey. The former It Boy from the 90s was a male model, a TV host, a professional water skier, even part of crew for an airline.
But at
Look at that.
But at age 44, he decided to try something new and picked up a guitar for the very first time. Now, he is a fully fledged musician with a few singles under his belt, including this brand new one. Take a listen.
Superheroes are racing cars, living, loving and driving fast. Around this band I can't wait to see just what's in store for little Tom and me.
We haven't named him yet. Let's do that. Nathan Harvey joins us live. Hi, Nathan.
Hi, Kylie. How are you? Hi,
Great.
Nathan.
Nice
Hello,
to
mate.
see you again. We're going to get to the new music soon. We're going to talk about this show that you've been doing, performing. Confessions of a C-grade celebrity.
Yes, that's right.
harsh.
And I noticed Larry isn't in today. I'm just wondering whether he thinks I have some dirt to dish on him or something
I
from
thought
that
you were
night.
suggesting Larry was a C-grade.
He's writing his own chapter on in this.
Yeah. Well, that was a lot of it was through the naughty 90s, and thankfully we didn't have smartphones or anything like that back then. And otherwise, I think we may have been in trouble.
Well, do tell, Nathan. What stories?
Oh, there's all sorts of stories, far out. I mean, I've been chased by a biker through the middle of the city when I was driving my old Valiant, and it was like a scene out of a movie, and I had to ring the security at Foxtel and say, I'm coming in hot, and they were all there, and the biker turned around and went away. And
What
then
had you done? What have you done to annoy the biker?
Oh, well, I'd accidentally, and this was accidentally, because when you're well known, you get targeted a bit. And he was having a fight with his ex-missus, and his ex-missus targeted me one night when I was out, and I had a bit of a tryst, and I didn't even know. And then he said he wanted to kill me, and then a couple of weeks later, he came at me with a knife. He came at me with a knife at DCM's at the time, and I thought the bouncers were protecting me, but I just happened to be talking to Johnny Ibrahim at the time, and they thought he was going for John.
Okay, that's a great story. And what other confessions do we have from the
That's all we've got time for.
I mean, I broke my neck water skiing, I've done all sorts of things, and I've had probably 3 or 4 very near-death experiences, and so, you know, all sorts of crazy stuff. And
You've lived quite the life.
yeah, really
Full
have.
life,
And a good life, and a very varied life, that's for sure. So I'm always up for new things, and it's funny, when COVID hit and everything, people said, geez, you got out of the city quickly, and I'd always been planning to. And for me, change is just normal, and I guess you'd understand as well, being in the industry.
Can we address this just quickly, if you don't mind me jumping in? I'm sorry to be rude,
That's
Nate,
all right.
but I mean, what a heartthrob. How old were we back here?
I can't even remember, like 19, 20? No, 20, in my mid-20s when I was in Australia.
Do you have a wall of these at home, a bit of a shrine to your modelling
Oh, of course.
career?
You know, you walk in the door and my whole house is covered in
Yeah,
them.
no, I had a
It's a
sneaking
wallpaper.
suspicion.
No, not like that. They're hidden away in boxes, and I've got lots of boxes, and I've got a lot of scanning to do for the show. So
And this is your TV presenting. This is the sort of MTV era. What was
that was Level 23. So that was a show, and the quality's really bad because that was on the days when we were still using pneumatic tapes, if you can believe that. And then went to SP and then digital, and so I've lost a lot of generations of quality there. But you know, it was fantastic times, and yeah, that was done by Beyond. So if you remember Beyond 2000.
Yes.
They actually did it, and they pitched it against the news at the time, and it was a hip, young sort of youth show, and I was up for a big sponsorship with Pepsi, around about 100 grand at the time, and I had to actually forego that and to do the show because it was sponsored by Coke, and I lost 100,000 because it only lasted 13 weeks. Gone.
You've got a whole litany of fascinating stories, Nathan.
Well,
I wanna
that's it,
ask, your life. I mean, you're very agile when it comes to your career, aren't you? I mean, you worked at SeaWorld. You performed on Fat Pizza as Dougie the Pizza Boy.
Yeah.
Now you've pivoted, and this is fantastic. I want to ask you about your music. You go by MrHarvey.
Yep.
What made you want to pick up a guitar and start to record? I mean, you weren't all that experienced.
Yeah. Well, I'd always been into music, and I hosted Channel V for 5 years, and so and I used to play drums in a band called the Velvet Underpants, which was just a fun band, and what really did it was probably breaking my neck. I was in Canada water skiing, and I was about 1 millimetre away from being a quadriplegic, and I came back with my tail between my legs, and I moved in with a guy called Dave. Good day, Dave, if he's watching, and yeah, he learned at the conservatorium, so he had a guitar and I had an old guitar floating around. And
did you teach
it up.
yourself?
Yeah, and I picked it up and I was hooked ever since, and I've been completely obsessed ever since.
Well, obsessed insofar as you've released this new single. It's called Superheroes and Racing Cars.
Yeah.
What's it about? Where can people hear it, Nathan?
It's about being inspired. I mean, I've been signed now at almost 50 years of age, so
congratulations.
by a label called Foghorn, and it's a wing of Damien Gerard's, and that's where In Excess recorded, and Divinals, and Marshall, the guy that actually signed me, I'm like, oh my God, because he sort of worked on Hoodoo Guru's albums and stuff that are just some of my favourite of all time, and so so really what this song's about is just dreaming to believe, and you can always do whatever you want to do, no matter how old you are. And I mean, Pete Murray's a good example, and I don't know whether you've seen the documentary Searching for Sugar Man about Rodriguez. Amazing documentary, but I mean, so really and this is just about being a superhero in your everyday life, like just doing a random act of kindness and just believing in yourself and backing yourself, really. So.
It's a really good message.
Yeah, music's fantastic. So is your attitude, Nathan. Congratulations as well.
Cheers.
Now that you're shooting back to fame, avoid those bikies, will you?
I will. Well, put it this way, I'm a lot more circumspect with who I decide to date these days, that's for sure. I'm a hermit.
You may have just been after your Valiant. That's what I thought.
Yeah, Valiant was the best. I'm really upset I sold that thing. It would be worth about 60 grand now. Damn.
Nathan Harvey, a.k.a. Mr. Harvey's new single, Superheroes and Racing Cars, is out right now.